In today's tutorial, let's do the Chevron Panels Blanket together. This is using Bernat Home Bundle yarn. This picture is a little bit deceiving. Let me break it down for you today and let's get started. So let's take a look at this photograph because it's really quite deceptive. A, the blanket is upside down. No big deal, right? Second thing is that these chevrons are not what you're crocheting. You're only crocheting just a piece of it. So you're only crocheting just this section here and you're doing that 6 times, and how you sew it together creates the chevron look. If you look really carefully, you'll notice that sometimes the yarn is not the same beyond the center point here, sometimes that it is. So this yarn really lends itself well to have thick striping like this versus going all the way across in one big swoop. So this is a really neat idea. Let me show you another sample. So using the Bernat Baby Bundle or the Bernat Home Bundle, it has a mix of 4 different yarns that are creating the look that you see. So the one that you see in the photograph is warm gray, and that's Bernat Home Bundle yarn. So what we're going to do is that we're going to create a panel. So this is one of the panels that's actually been started, and you can see that we're gonna grow out from here and then work our way, and once we get to a certain size we're gonna shoot straight all the way up, and then you're gonna get that panel done, and you'll do 6 of these, and then you'll just sew it together right at this mark in order to create it, or you can sew it on the other side. That's completely up to you on how you want to join it to how you want it to look. So this is a really neat idea. Let me show you a different yarn because you may be inspired with that one as well. So here's another sample. This is using Bernat Softy Chunky yarn. We're gonna start off in the corner and we progressively get bigger. Once we get to 27 stitches across, which includes the chain 1 spaces, then we stop, and then we just stop the one side from growing any further, and we go straight up and we continue to grow this side. What does this remind you of? Corner to corner, exactly. So once you get to the height that you need, then you just progressively then bring it together so that it stays nice and flat. So you get yourself a panel that looks like it's on a slope. So once you get these panels done, you just sew them together, and then essentially it looks like it's the chevron itself. Very easy pattern to maintain. So today I'm going to show you a sample, and then I'm gonna bring you back to this sample later on showing you how to progressively bring it to a conclusion at the end. This is really quite simple. So let's begin. So the pattern's recommending Bernat Home Bundle yarn with an 8mm size L crochet hook. I can tell you that you can use this pattern with different sizes of yarn. Look at the ball band and then match the recommendation for the hook if you would like to do this. So we're gonna start off with the slip knot to begin, and we're gonna start in the one corner and progressively work our way out. So once we put this on, the color that you see today in this particular one is Bernat Softy Baby Chunky, and the color is saying My Sunshine is what this one is. So you'll see it changing, and I decided to use a variegated yarn for a change just to show you how well this moss stitch or the granite stitch works out. So let's begin. Okay, let's get started. We're gonna chain 2. So 1 and 2, and I want you to go second chain from the hook, which is the beginning, and I want you to single crochet into that chain. So just going right into it and single crochet, followed by a chain 1 and single crochet back into that same chain, and that is row number 1. So the first single crochet, the chain 1 and the single crochet gives you a stitch count of 3. So every time we go and pass by, we're gonna increase by 2 stitches. So the next time it'll be 5 and then 7 and then 9. So let's turn our work and do row number 2. So row number 2, because it's progressively getting bigger until we get to 27 stitches across, we are going to continue to grow like this. So we're gonna chain up 1 and we're gonna put 1 single crochet in the first single crochet. Now we need to have it grow, so we're gonna grow in the next chain 1 space. So just chain 1 first, and then going into the next chain 1 space is a single crochet, and then chain 1, and then in the final single crochet you are going to single crochet. So how many stitches did you have? So you had the first single crochet, so it's 1, a chain 1 for 2, single crochet for 3, chain 1 for 4, and this is 5. So let's turn our work and do row number 3. So let's progressively get bigger. So you're gonna chain up 1 and you're gonna put a single crochet in the first single crochet. So that's always gonna be when you're growing it outward. Then you're gonna chain up 1, and in the next chain 1 space, just pull it apart with your fingers, you're going to single crochet first, and then chain 1, and then jump to the next single crochet on the other side of this single crochet that you see, and then single crochet into that space, chain 1, and single crochet into the last. So now you should have 7. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. Let's turn our work and go again. So we're gonna progressively get bigger. So chain up 1, single crochet in the first one, chain 1, single crochet in the next chain 1 space. You can see it's looking more relaxed now. Chain 1, go into the next chain 1 space, single crochet, chain 1, go into the next chain 1 space, chain 1, and single crochet into the last. So let's show you again one more time. So you want to get to 27 stitches across. So turning our work. So we're gonna start off and you're gonna chain up 1, single crochet in the first, chain 1, go to the next single crochet, or sorry, next chain 1 space, single crochet, chain 1, go to the next space, single crochet, chain 1, next space, single crochet, chain 1, last space here, chain 1, and single crochet into the last. So do you see the growth? I'll show you one more time just for the fun of it. So chain up 1, single crochet in the first one, chain 1, go into the first chain 1 space, which is next, single crochet, chain 1, and keep going into all the spaces followed by a chain 1. So what I want you to do is progressively get bigger all the way to 27 stitches across. If you would like to go bigger and you'd like to change your yarn, you can do that completely. You don't have to stop at 27 if you don't want to, but the pattern states that for the design that you see. It will change the look of it if you decide to ignore that. The way that it looks in the photograph is because it's only going 27 stitches across. So what I want to do is progressively get bigger, and I will be back when we have 27 stitches across. So it's across this way. So when I last left you, we were progressively getting bigger, and now there's 27 stitches across the top, which includes the chain 1 spaces. We're now going to progress, and now that we have 27 stitches across, we're gonna maintain 27. So when I turn it like this, the whole panel is going to be this wide, and it's gonna shoot up for 62 inches to the top of this point, and then at the top of that we're going to then progressively get more narrowed again to complete the other side of the panel, so to square it off. So what we need to do for the next 2 rows, we're just gonna repeat those over and over, is that this side is gonna progressively get taller, and this one is gonna progressively get shorter so that it maintains the flat edge, and you'll see that in just a moment. So let's begin the next row. So after you get 27 stitches across, the next 2 rows are the repeat. So how we were growing it out is gonna maintain itself on this side, so we're gonna always do the same thing. So chain up 1, and you're gonna single crochet in the first one, chain up 1, and single crochet into the next chain 1 space that is directly there. So you just progressively just made that so that it will continue to go up straight. So chain up 1, and now you're going to go into each one of the chain 1 spaces. So chain 1 in between them, and you're gonna go until the last 4 stitches are available on the row. So the last 4 stitches are where we're gonna play in order to do a reduction, which keeps it being flat on the other side. So if you wanted a total square idea, then what happens is that you would have to reduce on both sides at the same time. So the way I just started there would not be how you would just start to do a square. So we're going to go to the last 4 stitches. So chain up 1 first. So you have the last 4. So you have this one here. So 1, the chain 1, 2 space is 2, 3, and 4. So you're gonna come into the next chain 1 space and single crochet and chain 1, and the next chain 1 space and the final stitch are gonna become together. It's 2 together. So going into the chain 1 space first, yarn over, pull through, and then go into the last single crochet, yarn over, and pull through. You have 3 loops, pull through all 3. Now I would recommend that you keep this nice and sharp looking right here at this point, because if you are sloppy about it, this side will look like it's rounding off, so just be very conscious of that. So pull things nice and tight. So this side now is always gonna be finishing, and this side is always gonna be extending. So the next row, how we start is we're gonna chain up 1, and we're gonna put a single crochet in the first one. Okay, so we're gonna do that, and then we're gonna go to the next chain 1 space, and we're gonna pick that one up 2, and you have 2 together. So you see the 3 loops, and pull through all 3. So essentially the first stitch and the chain 1 space became 2 together. You chain up 1, and now just go to the next space available to you, and then continue to maintain all the way to the top. So because the top side we are continuing to grow that one, we're gonna finish it off like we had been before, where we just add those extra stitches at the end. So if you can understand that one side is continuing to grow and the other side is stopping short, you can see how the rectangle is being formed. Notice that I'm not counting, I'm just looking for the spaces. So chain up one. So I'm coming to the last space, this side, chain or single crochet, chain one, and then come into the final. So when will that change? It'll change once we get to the 62-inch mark and we start flattening it off. So to start the next row, you see how it's kinda stopped now and it's starting to go up, is that we still grow this side. So chain up one, single crochet in the first one, chain one, come into the next chain one space, and then maintain all the way across. So what are we looking for at the end of this row? We're looking for the last 4 stitches to bring the last final 2 together. So we're just playing in the chain one spaces. You'll see how fast this can work out for you when you play like this. Okay, so these are together. So these are the final 2 that you need to play together with. So we're just gonna get there first. So chain up one, come to the last available chain one space, yarn over, pull through, come to the final, yarn over, pull through, and then pull through all 3. Turn your work. This side is maintaining. Okay, so it's just going straight up. So chain up one, put the first 2 together, so right in the stitch, pull through the chain one space, pull through, and pull through all 3, and then start. So chain up one and work your way starting at the next chain one space up. So do you see how you're maintaining that one, right? So you're not actually growing it out, you're just keeping it straight up. So what I want you to do is that I want you to go back and forth using these 2 rows, and how you, and basically once you understand what side of the box that you're on, so whether you're on the side that's ending early and or the side that's growing, you just gotta make sure you just do the right stitch work at the end. So what I'm gonna do is I'll leave that for you, and then I'm gonna show you how to maintain to pull this together to make yourself square at the very top so that you can be able to sew these things together. So when we come to the other side here, just chain up one, come to the last chain one space, and you're growing it, so chain up one and then single crochet at the end. So what I'll do is I'll show you how to bring this to a conclusion to get it to be square once again. So I'm gonna turn my work. So once I understand that I want to be making it squared off, I want to start ending this side and this side. So we're already ending because we're making our way up this side. This one we're gonna start ending. So how do you think we're gonna do it? We're gonna do exactly what we've been doing on this side all along. So we just chain up one, we come to the first single crochet, yarn over, pull through, we come to the next chain one space, yarn over, pull through, and then pull through all 3 loops. Chain one and then move to the next chain one space. And now you're just moving all your way down now to the other side. So you're gonna progressively get smaller by 2 stitches if you're maintaining this pattern. Again, if you wanted to do a large granny square or a large square kind of concept, you could do that with this idea pretty easily. This is called the moss stitch or granite stitch if you missed that already. We do have videos on actually a video on how to do the moss stitch actually as a complete chevron and going up and down all the way across if you prefer that as well. So we're going to just come out to the very end, so chain up one, so into the last space and into the last stitch, pull through all 3. So you just turn your work and let's go up. So first one and the next, bring those together, chain one and start working your way. So the other side is also going to be doing the reduction. So we're gonna end when on the last 4 stitches, right? So the last 4 stitches is what we're looking for to bring that to conclusion. You will notice that you will bring this to conclusion pretty quickly. It's only 27 stitches across and you're reducing by 2 each time. Okay, so where we're gonna do, so we're gonna maintain these ones here. So we're just gonna chain up one, come into the last space and into the last stitch and pull together. and then you start again. So chain up 1, put the first 2 together, chain 1, jump to the next chain 1 space and continue. So when I pull my hands away, you can see how it's coming to conclusion. So it's getting closer and closer to the edge. So what I want you to do is just maintain this now, going back and forth, and you will end up in the very corner. So please do that now. So I'm coming close to the conclusion of bringing this to a point. I'm just doing a reduction on both sides, and it's just really easy pattern to be able to maintain. I actually really like this pattern, so we're just gonna just continue to reduce on both sides as we go, and then eventually we'll end up back at the peak. Chain 1 and the last 2 are coming together. And then what's gonna happen is that on the very final here, you're gonna chain up 1, you're gonna come into the single crochet, the chain 1 space, and the first stitch, and bring through all of it, and that's it. So you'll notice that this pattern, whenever you do this kind of concept, it's not 100% square. It's pretty close, but when you start sewing things together, everything comes back in balance. So all you just need to do is make your panels. So there's a total of 6 of them, and then you sew them together along the edge, and then this will give you what you're seeing in the photograph of it being chevron in shape. So let me just bring back that photograph and show you. So you can see this is the one panel, this is the next, and so on and so on. And using your Bernat Home Bundle, you can see that when you're changing these colors, they actually look pretty cool. This will change on its own as per the ball, and when you sandwich them together and match them, they're actually really quite awesome. So this is how you do the Chevron Panels Crochet Blanket, and you can see that it's pretty awesome. And this is the moss stitch going up on an angle. So until next time, have a good one. We'll see you again real soon. Bye bye.